It's been way too long since the last Sonic vocal tracks video, so I thought, why not change that today by looking at all the character themes in Sonic Adventure, and also the main theme song of the game, Open Your Heart. In this video, we'll tackle each song verse by verse, talk about what they mean, and maybe shed some light on what some of these lyrics truly mean. If you enjoy this video, like and subscribing is always appreciated, and I also want to know what your favorite song in Sonic Adventure is, vocal or just instrumental. Personally, I enjoy Azure Blue World Emerald Coast song, but if I had to go with a vocal track, it would definitely be, unknown for me, Knuckles' theme song. With that all being said, let's get on with the video. But first, I need to tell you guys about FiGGYZ. FiGGYZ are a new and innovative way to display some of your favorite characters. These FiGGYZ can go anywhere you desire. On your desk, in your fridge, next to you while you sleep, the possibilities are endless. Each box comes with your FiGGYZ character, a reversible metal background that features a location from the character series on one side, while the other side displays what series your character comes from. With the two magnets located on the back of each FiGGYZ character, you can put them on the metal plate, or just about anything that's magnetic. The box also comes with a display base for you to set your magnetic plate on, and a 3M wall mount magnet that attaches to your wall so you can display your FiGGYZ that way as well. If you're lucky enough, you might just get an extra metal plate with your character imprinted on it. Now, let's say you want to put Sonic on Metal Sonic's backdrop. Well, you can do that. You can even put 2 on a metal plate, or 3, or even 4 if you're skilled enough. Each character also comes with a QR code on the back that when scanned in the FiGGYZ app, which releases May 20th, adds the FiGGYZ to your profile. This allows you to see which edition your FiGGYZ character is, and you can track your collection in the app as well. The app will also feature FiGGYZ Verse, which will be rolling out later this year. There's more than just Sonic though. There are tons of FiGGYZ characters from your favorite series, and more being released every single week with more franchises joining in down the road. They'll be available to purchase starting June 4th for the low price of $14.99, but if you want to get 5% off your first order and 24-hour early access to their shop, then just click on the first link in the description below. Thank you so much to FiGGYZ, and let's get on with the video. And if you want to help with the next video in the series, there's a link to a Google form in the description asking what your favorite vocal tracks in the series are. Filling this out helps me figure out which songs I'm going to cover next, so if you could take 5 minutes to fill it out, that would be greatly appreciated. With that being said, let's take a look at the first song on our list, starting with It Doesn't Matter, performed by Tony Harnell of the Norwegian band TNT, is the theme song of Sonic the Hedgehog in Sonic Adventure. It's an upbeat rock anthem describing Sonic's free-spirited nature as he runs around the world refusing to be controlled by others' ideals. It's a song that I didn't like at first. I mainly prefer the second version of the song that's used in Sonic Adventure 2, but it's really grown on me since going back and playing Sonic Adventure again last year. Without wasting too much time, let's go ahead and take a listen, starting with the first verse. Right off the bat, Sonic's whole personality is delivered to us on a silver platter. He doesn't act all cocky to show off, it's just a byproduct of how he chooses to live his life. He also isn't necessarily a rule follower, unless it's to his own moral code which he lives by. Sonic won't compromise his ideals in order to satisfy others. If he can, he'll find a way to work with others in order to accomplish what he believes is morally correct. At the center of all this though, Sonic is truly a good person. He stands up to those who are oppressing others and will do everything in his power to stop tyranny from taking over. Usually accompanied by some cheeky one-liner.
Come on, you big drip! Where you going?
And that's all I can really pull from this first verse, so let's take a listen to the pre-chorus. In the pre-chorus, we hear Sonic's unwillingness to leave difficult situations he may be up against. This isn't because he's too stubborn to, but it once again falls back to this moral code that he lives by, which is helping those who need help against oppressive forces. He's got his own way of living life, which is not following any master and living his life as he sees fit. In some ways, I think we can all see Sonic as an example of someone who always sticks to his moral code, no matter how difficult the situation may be that he's up against. Transitioning from the pre-chorus to the chorus, we hear, Sonic will never stop fighting against those who seek to harm others for their own personal gain. In Sonic Adventure, there are plenty of times Sonic just could have given up and walked away from his fight against Eggman and Chaos, but yet, he didn't. He never gives up. Even when he's faced against his biggest enemy yet, a giant who's literally known as the God of Destruction, Sonic doesn't run away from the danger. He runs towards it figuratively and literally. When there are songs in the series referencing Sonic and running, it always means Sonic's running towards the danger, not away from it. So when we hear the song say, "I will always keep on running," that doesn't mean Sonic is going to run and hide from the big scary bad guy. He's going to run towards it and figure out some way to destroy the monster or stop it from terrorizing those he wants to protect. It doesn't matter whose side the terrorizer is on. If Sonic thinks that they're going up against his moral code, he's going to stop them. Well, that's enough of the chorus. The post-chorus is just Tony shouting "oh yeah," so we can move on to the second verse. As we can hear, Sonic doesn't live life with regrets. The exact opposite is actually true. He chooses to never look back in the metaphorical sense of not regretting his choices, while also in the literal sense in which he keeps running forward day by day. He knows that in the moment, his choice was the right one, and given the chance to do it again, he would 100% make that same choice. Sonic also feels like the world is his to defend, so he keeps running through it trying to find the next bad guy whose plans he can foil. He loves his planet and he wants to do everything in his power to protect it from those who are looking to harm it. Not too much to say about the second verse since it's only 2 lines, so let's transition into the pre-chorus. Diving into a much deeper part of Sonic's character, we hear about how his journey through life can be made unclear at times. Like he's going so fast and doing so much, he doesn't know where to end his adventure. We as the player know that it's at the end of the level or the end of the game, but in universe, Sonic doesn't know where his journey will end. It doesn't matter though, he knows his journey will end someday, but for now, he's doing what he knows is right in his heart and that's all that really matters. Also, like in most of Sonic's songs, we need to hear something about Sonic's speed, and here it's no different. We hear that everything is a blur, which, in Sonic terms, could be describing how Sonic moves around so quickly that things just seem to blur around him due to his incredible speed. The final section we're looking at is the chorus, since this chorus is different than the previous one. However, there is more to the song, but it's just repeated lyrics from before, so let's just go ahead and take a listen. At first listen, I thought it was a contradiction to Sonic's character. What do you mean he's only fighting for himself? Doesn't he believe in fighting for others, especially those who can't fight back like small animals? But I don't believe that's what he's saying. He wants to be the one fighting front and center because he doesn't want others to get hurt. That's the selflessness we see in him. He's not going to stop fighting until he physically can't anymore. In later games we see it more evidently, but Eggman knocks Sonic down plenty of times in this game, and Sonic is always right there to get back up and keep fighting. The third line also gives us some more insight into Sonic's moral code. He doesn't fully know what is wrong and what is right, but needs to find the answer so he can continue living by his code. Until he finds that answer though, he's going to continue living his life by what he thinks is right, and challenge others to do the same. And that's all for It Doesn't Matter, a beautiful rock symphony describing Sonic's internal thoughts and how he's always living for the thrill of the day, pushing himself to be the best version of himself he can be. Next up, we have Tails' theme, Believe in Myself. Believe in Myself, sung by Kaz Silver, is the theme of Tails and Sonic Adventure. It's a pop rock style song about how Tails yearns to be brave and strong just like those around him. It's not a song I find myself listening to often, mainly because I don't really like the tempo of the song, but that's neither here nor there. Without further ado, let's take a listen to the first verse. Within the first verse, we hear Tails yearning to be strong and cool just like him presumably being Sonic. He wants people to lean on him for help and not just him leaning on others. We also hear that he constantly is having these thoughts. When he's by himself, these thoughts of being inferior to his peers start entering his mind, which can be really detrimental to one's own mental and physical health. There's more to this story, but first we need to take a listen to the pre-chorus. Tails acknowledges his struggles in being confident in himself like Sonic, but in many ways that's not who Tails is. He's not a guy who thinks on his feet like Sonic does. Tails is much more cunning and calculated when it comes to saving the day. Where Sonic might run into a situation head first without too much thought behind it, Tails would much rather study the situation at hand and figure out the most optimal way to take down a foe. However, Tails does want to become a hero like Sonic in the sense that he wants to learn how to take on Eggman all by himself, which we eventually see him do in this game when Tails disarms a missile and then proceeds to defeat Eggman's Egg Walker, saving Station Square. Well, that's enough with the pre-chorus, so let's go ahead and dive into the chorus. This chorus has a lot to unpack, so let's start at the first line and move our way down. Tails wants to soar high into the sky, which can mean a plethora of things. The first and most obvious thing is that Tails has two tails that can be used to fly high up in the air. Alongside that, Tails wants to soar high into the sky and rise out of the shadows of his peers. Up to this point in the games, Tails has only ever been Sonic's sidekick. He enjoys hanging out with his buddy Sonic, but he wants to be the best hero he can possibly be. He doesn't want to just live in the shadows of others. The second line then picks up on that, where Tails knows that someone will eventually rely on him for help, and he'll need to be ready to answer that call when it comes. As we know, he does step up to the challenge when he needs to disarm the missile before Eggman can rig it to explode. Following that, the third and fourth line is telling us all about this brand new challenge for Tails. The latter half of the story is all about his own personal journey finding another Chaos Emerald and also fighting Eggman by himself. He's never fought Eggman alone before, but he knows he needs to do this. There's no time to wait for Sonic to come to the rescue. If he doesn't do anything, a lot of people are going to get hurt. That's all we got for the chorus, let's go ahead and take a listen to the second verse. A lot shorter than the first verse, Tails just keeps seeing himself do the same things day in and day out, running around as Sonic's sidekick. As we know from the previous verse and chorus, Tails wants to be so much more than that. He wants to be a hero. He wants to dream about his own adventures not led by Sonic. This line of thinking is then expanded on in the pre-chorus. Tails realizes if he never steps out of Sonic's shadow, he'll never grow to be the fox that he wants to be. He'll always just be Sonic's number 2. It's now Tails' time to shine bright and show everyone that Tails the Fox is just as much of a hero as anyone else is. The following chorus is just a repeat of the previous chorus, so we'll jump ahead to the last section of the song we're going to look at, the bridge between the final 2 choruses. Tails recognizes that sometimes he does need to rely on his friends for help, and in return, he'll help them. For example, Sonic runs through Emerald Coast to make sure he's okay after crashing. In return, Tails is able to fly Sonic on the tornado and help him reach the egg carrier. There are some things that only Tails can do though, like stopping Dr. Eggman from blowing up Station Square. While yes, his friends could have stopped Dr. Eggman themselves, Tails is the only one who was in the area, and he stepped up to stop the Mad Doctor. Well, that's really it for Believe in Myself. Honestly, taking a deep dive in these lyrics made me enjoy the song just a little bit more. Truly knowing about how much Tails yearns to be his own person and not live in other shadows is something that I think a lot of us can relate to, especially those of us who often compare ourselves to others. With that all being said, we can turn to the next song on our list, but I just want to remind you once again, if you are enjoying the video, subscribing to the channel is the best way for me to know that you enjoy this kind of content. Now, let's dive into the next song on our list, Unknown from Me. Unknown from Me, performed by Marlon Sanders and Dread Fox, is Knuckles' theme song in Sonic Adventure. It's a hip-hop R&B song that gives the listener a much deeper understanding of Knuckles' character and how he feels about his duty to guard the Master Emerald. One thing I want to point out before diving into the song is that the M and E in Unknown from Me is abbreviated. I would assume that ME is short for Master Emerald, meaning that Knuckles is unaware of the jewel's origins and why he has to protect it, but it's also a play on words as ME can also be read as Unknown from Me, as in Knuckles doesn't fully know his origins because he's been on Angel Island all by himself for so long guarding the Master Emerald. Anyways, enough with that, let's take a look at the song starting with the first refrain.
Here I come, rougher than the rest of them, the best of them, tougher than leather. You can call me Knuckles, unlike Sonic I don't chuckle. I'd rather flex my muscles, I'm hard as nails, it ain't hard to tell. I break them down whether they solid or frail. Unlike the rest, I'm independent since my first breath, first test, feel the right then the worst left.
Right away, we can hear Knuckles' personality bursting through the song. He's stronger than his foes, and he can take on anything or anyone that comes his way. He's also so kind as to introduce himself to us in the song, which is very nice to hear. We also know he's actually introducing himself, because then the song goes to say that Knuckles isn't the kind of guy to joke around like Sonic is. He just likes to get stuff done. I believe that Knuckles emphasizes his strength so much in these first couple of lines due to growing up all alone. We hear that he's been independent since he was born, and took that as a personal challenge. Nothing in life has just been given to him. He needs to fight for food and to protect the Master Emerald from those who try to take it. From there, the refrain transitions into the first verse.
Born on an island in the heavens, the blood of my ancestors flows inside me. My duty is to save the flower from evil deterioration.
It's pretty cut and dry what the first verse means, but we'll go ahead and talk about it anyway. The island in the heavens is about how Knuckles was born on Angel Island, an island that floats high and above the sky thanks to the Master Emerald. The second line tells us that the blood of his ancestors flows inside of him, which is true for literally everybody, but I think it's more directly tied into how Knuckles' ancestors protected the Master Emerald, and how this duty has been passed down for generations. The final lines also refer to this since Knuckles' duty is to protect the Master Emerald. We then move on to the second refrain, which says,
I will be the one to set your heart free, true. Cleanse yourself with them evil spirits that's in you.
This most likely is all about chaos. Chaos is fueled by rage, anger, and sadness, all due to the Echidna's raid on the Master Emerald, which caused the lives of Chao and Echidnas alike to be lost. The evil spirits are referring to these negative emotions, and how the Emerald's power can be used to subdue these emotions to help calm chaos down. Pretty short since the refrain in itself was short, but now we can move on to the second verse.
Streaking lights, loud sounds, and instinct are the elements that keep me going. I am fighting my own mission. Nothing's gonna stand in my way. No.
I will be the one to
So there are two possibilities that these first couple of lines might be referring to, so let's just talk about them both. The first is that Knuckles is trying to find things to keep him moving forward, such as the shards of the Master Emerald. It could then be implied that these lines are about Knuckles' gameplay in Sonic Adventure, how his instincts are the radar and the lights and the sounds given off by the radar help the player, and in turn Knuckles find the Master Emerald shards. Knuckles is fulfilling his duty as the guardian of the Master Emerald. He has a mission to bring the pieces back together and no one is going to stand in his way, even Sonic. Someone who he has been an ally to, is seen as an enemy to him in a brief moment because he mistook the green Chaos Emerald as a shard of the Master Emerald. The next refrain is the same as the previous, so we'll just skip over it and jump to the chorus.
Be fighting now, stand up to all the pain and turmoil. Just believe in myself, won't rely on others. Get this power to wipe out the havoc and anarchy. This is my planet, gonna fight for my destiny.
Knuckles is used to going up against danger since it's basically how he lived his entire life. He's not afraid to face whatever may come at him and he'll take them head on. Also growing up all alone, he's grown used to not relying on others for help, which is just one of the reasons why he never asks anyone to help him find the Master Emerald pieces. He just does what he knows he needs to do. The Master Emerald gives Knuckles a sense of purpose, and right now, that's finding its pieces scattered about and using this energy to stand up against foes who may be in his way. He believes it's his calling, so he's going to do what he believes is right, which is very similar to how Sonic lives his life. We can now jump ahead to the third verse, which says,
I have no such things as weak spots. Don't approve of him, but gotta trust him. This alliance has a purpose. This partnership is only temporary.
I will be the one.
Knuckles' arrogance leads him to believe that he has no weakness, which just isn't true. We see in both Sonic 3 and Sonic Adventure that Eggman tricks Knuckles in order to get his hands on some emeralds. So while Knuckles may not be weak like the song has implied so far, Knuckles has some trust issues which only makes sense for someone who lived on an island all alone for a good chunk of their life. The final three lines are about Knuckles' partnership with Sonic. It's pretty obvious to tell from the lyrics, but Knuckles knows that he and Sonic must team up in order for Knuckles to collect the pieces of the Master Emerald and keep it safe from any danger that may come its way. This is why we see Knuckles fight Chaos 4 alongside Sonic and Tails, because he knows it's the best thing to do to keep his home safe. Now, we're going to jump over the second refrain since we've already covered it and listen to the chorus. The first half of it is the same as before, so we won't be looking at that part, but the last two lines are different, so I thought we would talk about them. Take a listen.
Be fighting now, stand up to all the pain and turmoil. Just believe in myself, won't rely on others. We all will be waiting when serenity is restored. This is my planet, I shall not surrender.
Knuckles knows that when this battle with Chaos is over, he'll be at peace once again guarding the Master Emerald. He won't rest until his job is done though, that job being saving the planet from Chaos and Eggman. We don't really have much more to talk about here, so we're going to skip over the chorus and the pre-chorus since it's all things we've heard before, and just listen to the last section of the song, the outro.
The new porcupine on the block with the buff chest. Out the wilderness with the ruggedness. Knock knock is Knuckles, the blow thrower, independent flower, magical emerald holder. Give you the coldest shoulder. My spike goes through boulders. That's why I stay a loner. I was born by myself. I don't need a posse. I get it on by myself. Adversaries get shelved.
The last section basically encapsulates this whole song into one 10-second outro. Knuckles is an echidna which are similar to porcupines. He lives away from society, having no one to call an acquaintance until Sonic and Tails help him get the Master Emerald back from Dr. Eggman. He's the guardian of the Master Emerald and he doesn't need company, especially people who are just going to try and give him advice. Also, I really like the line, "My spikes go through boulders," because it can be the spikes on his head when he curls into the ball, or the spikes on his gloves when he punches things. And that's it from Unknown for me. It's one of my favorite songs to ever come out of this series, so much so that it made my Spotify Top 100 last year, alongside some of the other Sonic the Hedgehog songs that we'll visit another day. This is a song that I will be singing along to anytime it gets played in the car, just for how catchy it is. It also tells us a lot about Knuckles' character and what he believes is right and wrong. Well, with that being said, we can move into our next song, My Sweet Passion. My Sweet Passion, sung by fellow Canadian Nikki Gregoroff, is Amy's theme in Sonic Adventure. It's a jazz funk song that heavily leads into Amy's fanboyish obsession with Sonic, and it's very easy to tell that just by listening to the lyrics. I'm not too big of a fan of the song, but maybe learning more about the lyrics will help me enjoy it more. With that being said, why don't we go ahead and dive into the lyrics, starting with the first verse.
I got up my map and chose someplace I wanted to go. Packed up my stuff, set out for adventure. I know that you're lucky, color is that cool shade. Won't mind painting myself blue for you. I guess I'm so easy to understand. I just do whatever comes to me naturally.
At the beginning of Amy's story, we see her reminiscing about her adventure with Sonic back when he saved her from Metal Sonic and Sonic CD. She misses the feeling of going on an adventure with the man of her dreams, and we know that she's infatuated with Sonic due to some of the other lyrics in this song. She believes Sonic is her good luck charm and that Sonic can do no wrong, and he'll always come to her rescue whenever she's in trouble. And when he comes running, he knows exactly how she feels because she always wears her heart on her sleeve for him, just hoping that one day they can be together. We also get to hear that Amy is similar to Sonic in the fact that she does whatever she feels is right, just like Sonic does. I know that was a little all over the place, but that's because there's a lot to dissect in the song. That's all we have for the first verse though, so let's go ahead and listen to the second verse.
I do understand the feelings of a pretty cat. Cute. I had to shave it. He reminds me of parsley when he's standing there. Makes me wanna be his speciality. I guess I'm just a self-centered girl. But there are nights that I have trouble going to sleep.
Now, there's definitely been some debates as to what these first two lines mean, but if I had to interpret it as something, I would say it's more so Amy's character growth than anything else. Sphinx cats are known for being hairless, but also that they're more muscular than other breeds of cats, or their muscles are at least more defined than other breeds of cats. When the song talks about Amy understanding the feelings of a Persian cat, it's meant to represent how Amy knows how it feels to be taken care of and even nurtured by Sonic, even though he only saved her once in Sonic CD. Persian cats also have a ton of hair, so shaving them to be more like a Sphinx cat could be Amy's way of letting us know that she's shaving off the defenseless girl persona and going to show others just how strong she is. And this does come to fruition in Sonic Adventure when Amy destroys Zero at the end of her story. The following two lines are about Amy's desire to be with the hedgehog she adores. Parsley is a seasoning used in food, typically to help make a dish taste better. Amy's using this as a metaphor that means Sonic is good on his own, but with her in his life, the two of them will make an incredible couple, the same way that parsley makes certain foods taste incredible. Her admiration of Sonic is then heard about in the last two lines of the verse, where she can't stop thinking about him, so much so that she can't sleep at night. Maybe this obsession is a little selfish, but she doesn't really care. From there, the song transitions into the chorus.
Sweet, you're so sweet. So many things I want. Sweet, sweet, you're so sweet. I wanna be a wonderful girl. Sweet, sweet, you're so sweet. I'm not simple-minded. Sweet, sweet, you're so sweet. And I will be a pearl. You probably need me just as much as I need you. Yeah.
Amy just yearns to be the girl of Sonic's dreams. While denying that he is all she thinks about, she knows she isn't going to throw herself at every guy that comes her way. Her heart only has enough room for one person, and that's Sonic. She's not a prize to be won, she just wants to be with Sonic. She even believes that Sonic needs her just as much as she needs him, which we know just isn't the case, but it's probably not a good idea to say that to the 12-year-old who has the strength of an ox and a hammer the size of Texas. Moving on from the chorus, the post-chorus is just a lot of woes and yas, so let's take a listen to the third verse. Amy is commenting on Sonic's demeanor whenever she's around. He seems to be tense around her, which she thinks is just because of his usual day-to-day activities of fighting robots, so she assures him that he doesn't need to worry. What she fails to realize is that she's actually the one causing all of his worry, and we can especially see that when she gets kidnapped and he runs all over the place trying to find her. She also is expressing to Sonic that they should live their lives the way they want, although the life she wants is to be with Sonic, while the life he wants would be running around as free as the wind. From there, let's take a listen to the final section of the song we'll be covering, since everything past the refrain is just a repeat of what we've already heard. Okay, anyway, on to the refrain.
Sweet, you're so sweet. There's nowhere to hide. Sweet, sweet, you're so sweet. Come on, settle our lives. Sweet, sweet, you're so sweet. I'll always be there for you. Sweet, sweet, you're so sweet. In the best and worst times, you can be my sweetest honey for eternity.
Amy tells Sonic no matter how far he runs, she will always be able to find him, so he might as well settle down with her. But she's also letting him know that she'll always be there for him in the best or worst of times. Her heart is always going along for Sonic, she's just waiting for him to finally fall for her. And with that, we're done with My Sweet Passion. I think the song name is a little misleading. It should be something like My Sweet Obsession, with how much the song is just about being in love with Sonic. I wish the song would have covered more about Amy's personality aside from Sonic, but back in 1998, that's all we really knew about her. From here, we can jump into the next song, Lazy Days, Livin' in Paradise. Lazy Days, performed by Ted Poley, lead vocalist of American band Danger Danger, is the theme song for Big the Cat and Sonic Adventure. It's a pop rock song with a heavy emphasis on Big the Cat's demeanor and the relationship he has with Froggy. The song is a little long, but the lyrics can be summed up pretty quickly, so let's dive in, starting with the first verse.
Oh, it's a windy and sunny day, and I can hear the birds and the distant waves. The past weeks have been gone by so fast. It's all the same, the bright sky and shining sun. I have a feeling it's gonna be a fun day. Oh, it's a windy.
Even though Big's presented as a moron in-game, he seems to be quite expressive in his emotions, at least in his mind. The sun is shining, he can hear some waves off into the distance, possibly referring to when he went fishing for Froggy in Emerald Coast, and he just knows it's going to be a great day. We know that this mindset takes place after the events of Sonic Adventure, but we'll dive in deeper when we get there. For now, we know Big loves being outside, and he enjoys every day that he's alive. From there, we move on to the second verse.
Oh, it's a windy and sunny day. The many summers and many great games. Guess it's another trouble-free day. Our playground's so huge, we don't know where it is. He's energetic and groovy. Everything's cool, it's excellent.
This verse mimics the first, telling us about Big's outlook on life. He thinks it's a beautiful day outside and the whole world, or at least the Mystic Ruins, is a playground for him to explore and run around in. He loves being outside, and everything is just so awesome to him and Froggy. Honestly, it took me until actually reading these lyrics to understand just how much of a positive outlook on life that Big has. He's just enjoying life day by day with his friend Froggy. What else could he ask for? Now, we transition to the pre-chorus. Take a listen.
Every day's a new beginning, yeah. We don't know who we're gonna be today. More I want, the less that I can get. Keep walking for a new tomorrow. But I guess that I'm so happy now. Gonna set my heart free. Now I've got nothing to worry me. Come on, let's just get up, go, 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 go.
Big lives every day to the fullest, and that's mainly what the pre-chorus is telling us. He lives a carefree life, and every day presents itself as a new opportunity to meet new and interesting people, or new and interesting anthropomorphic creatures like Sonic, Tails, Knuckles, and Amy. Oh, I guess robots too in Gamma. That's really all there is to the pre-chorus, so now let's take a listen to the chorus.
Hey, big guy, hey, little guy, can you tell me who came first? Sorry,
The chorus presents us with a conversation between Big and Froggy. They talk about each other's past and how they met, but honestly, they don't really remember nor care about it. They're simple creatures who love the great outdoors and spending time with each other. The Mystic Ruins is their home, and they wouldn't want it to be any other way. The line about asking what's inside is probably about Froggy eating a Chaos Emerald, but I can't be 100% certain. With that though, we could jump into the last section of the song we'll be taking a look at, the pre-chorus before the final chorus. Let's take a listen.
What do you think about the incident? You were wasted before granted. I am asking you as a first step. You answered first 'cause I asked you first. You and I are friends for all of time. Tell me how you feel. But you know I can't resist that smiling face. Honey, honey, Big and Froggy talk about the incident. The incident being Froggy eating a Chaos Emerald, then Froggy being absorbed by Chaos, so Big had to fish Froggy out of Chaos. They kinda go back and forth asking about it, but then realize it doesn't matter since they're both just so happy to be with each other, and it doesn't matter now since they're both safe. And that's really it for Lazy Days. It's one of my favorite vocal tracks in Sonic Adventure, and I love how it gives us a better understanding of the relationship between Big and Froggy. What we see in games as Big's obsession with Froggy is actually just a super strong friendship between the both of them. And now that we've covered Big's song, we have one more character theme to look at, that being the theme of E102 Gamma. As the title may suggest, theme of E102 Gamma is the theme song of, E102 Gamma. It's a techno jazz track that only has a few words spoken throughout its 4.5 minute runtime, but it still gives us plenty to work with, so I figure let's just listen to all the lines, since there are only 4 spoken throughout the whole track. We can hear very clearly the first line being spoken, which is, "It's my pleasure." This is about how Gamma is ready to follow Eggman's every command like we see at the beginning of the game. He defeats E101 Beta with ease, and then finds Froggy and brings him to Eggman as well. The second line is much more quiet, almost like Gamma is ashamed that he has to do what he needs to do. "Ready to Die" is directed at the rest of the E100 series of robots. Gamma realized that Eggman is the true villain, and he trapped the animals inside of the E100 series of robots. In order for Gamma to free the animals, he must destroy his own kind. He feels like what he's doing is the right thing, but that doesn't make it any less hard to do. The other thing these 2 lines can mean is that Gamma is willing to die in order to free the bird trapped inside of himself, which you see him contemplating in the middle of the game. Ultimately, we do see the bird get set free at the end of the game when Beta gets a final shot off at Gamma before exploding. I think it's up to your interpretation of these lyrics, but the first one is what I'm going with. The final 2 lines, "Give me the emerald" and "Go get the emerald," are Gamma following Eggman's command of getting the bird from Amy and kidnapping Froggy. "Give me the emerald" is Gamma demanding Amy to give him the bird, and "Go get emerald" is Eggman's command to Gamma regarding Froggy and the bird. That's really it for the theme of E102 Gamma. It's a pretty short song lyric-wise, but it really helps us understand Gamma as a character, since they're only in one main series game before going out in an explosion like the cool robot he was. We're now going to talk about Open Your Heart. If you saw my video talking about every main theme song in the game, you would realize I've already talked about Open Your Heart on this channel, but to me, it just feels weird to talk about every vocal theme in Sonic Adventure except for Open Your Heart, so I thought I would go ahead and just talk about it again. With that, let's take a listen to the main theme song, Open Your Heart. Open Your Heart, performed by Crush 40, is this heart-racing, mind-crushing, beautiful performance of a song. When you ask a Sonic fan to name their top 5 Sonic songs,
This one will be up there every single time. And why is that? Well, let's take a deeper look at these meanings and answer some of those questions, as well as figure out the deeper meaning of the song. This first verse paints us a pretty clear picture of what's going on in the game. There is a disaster afoot and all seems helpless. Rain, lightning, flooding, everything seems hopeless for civilization. People are trying to hide and to get to shelter, but all that is going to do is delay the inevitable. Who's causing all this chaos? Well, we as the player know who's causing the destruction of Station Square, but all the people can see is this giant thing, and a metal machine soaring high above the sky. Some could describe this as looking like a steel cloud of sorts. The people may be terrified, but Sonic stands out and chooses to take on the evil doctor and his little pet, even though it is almost certain he will lose. We can hear this all in the pre-chorus. Sonic doesn't choose to think on that though. He knows victory is absolute. Eggman and Chaos' style are filled with evil, and good always prevails over evil. At least, that's what Sonic thinks. He knows he'll always be filled with good, and he knows Eggman will never stop from trying to turn the world into his Eggman empire, which is why Sonic does everything he can to stop him. Also, one thing to note is that Sonic knows that thousands of people's lives are at stake, and he's the only one who could stop this evil and save these people. It's something that really ties back into the whole story of the game really well. Enough with the pre-chorus though. Let's take a listen to the chorus. With these lines, we really hear Sonic's inner monologue as he's running through this adventure, trying to stop the Mad Doctor. I think that these lines are best interpreted to be his thoughts during the fight with Chaos though. He feels like he's pushed himself to the limit and he can't go on like this for much longer. But if he doesn't, then the people of the planet he loves so much will be destroyed, and he cannot let that happen. While Sonic always fights danger with a sarcastic grin on his face, he wants this fight to be over and go back to relaxing on the beach, in the woods, or wherever he wants to rest. I feel like that's something that recent Sonic games have forgotten about Sonic's character. Dude likes to relax. Literally at every opportunity he can, he's resting in this game. Continuing on with the lyrics, Sonic doesn't want to think of what will happen if he fails to destroy the god in front of him. He just wants to knock some sense into the guy and get him to stop destroying the city. The subtext tells us that Sonic doesn't want to count on others' help, and while some people might argue this is Sonic being selfish, I think it's Sonic telling us about the empathy he has for his friends, and he would never be able to forgive himself if something bad happened to his friends and it was his fault. The chorus then ends with Sonic exclaiming that everything will work out in the end, which perfectly lines up with his laid-back, optimistic view on life. The second verse then brings us back to the history of why this whole attack is going on. Let's have a listen. I'm pretty sure that most of us conclude that the ancient city Blazin is in reference to how Chaos destroyed the ancient Echidna clan some thousands of years ago. But the Shadows Keep Attacking line is having me a little stumped. I mean, Shadow wasn't even introduced until Adventure 2, so why do they mention him here? All jokes aside, my best guess is that this is referring to either the Echidna clan deciding to attack Chao at night, or Chaos retaliating the attack at night before he was sealed inside of the Master Emerald. The little children crying line can have a double meaning. It can mean that literal children are crying during Chaos' reign of terror on Station Square, which I think is totally valid because the whole city is being destroyed by a literal god of destruction. What I think it truly means though is that the little children are meant to be the Chao who lived at the altar of the Master Emerald. At the time, they were being wiped out by these scary men trying to take some ancient power for themselves. Who wouldn't be scared? The final line in this verse is all about how Chaos himself is feeling. We even hear Tikal mimic this at the end of Sonic Adventure before the final boss fight with them. Chaos is confused and angry at the world for what the Echidnas did to Chaos's people, and Chaos wants revenge on the world for their family being killed. That's why they're going crazy and trying to wipe out Station Square. Jumping forward a little bit, the pre-chorus to the next chorus directs Sonic's attention toward Eggman. Take a listen.
I don't know what it can be, but you drive me crazy. All your cunning tricks make me sick. You won't have it your own way.
Sonic's fed up with Eggman, honestly. He tricked Knuckles to fight Sonic from Tails for the Chaos Emerald. He tricked Tails in revealing the Emerald early so that he could steal that. He sprayed Sonic and Tails with some sort of sleeping gas and stole the Chaos Emeralds from them while they were passed out. Sonic is sick and tired of Eggman getting the upper hand on him, and he won't let Eggman get away with it. Not this time. Jumping forward again, the final section of the song I want to listen to is the bridge in between the second to last chorus and the final pre-chorus. So let's take a listen.
If it won't stop, there will be no future for us. It's hard staying down by all the hate, gotta set it free.
The final section we're looking at is Sonic's view on Chaos and their destructive power. Sonic knows that if Chaos doesn't stop destroying Station Square, they'll eventually get around to destroying the whole world. Nothing, and especially no one, will be left after this beast is done with them. Sonic reflects on this and understands why this creature wants to destroy the world, and what Sonic needs in order to keep Chaos from decimating everything in their path. Sonic Adventure's vocal tracks really helped pave the way for the future of vocal tracks in this series. Without songs like It Doesn't Matter, we would never have gotten songs like Escape from the City, His World, or even Endless Possibility, since they all follow that rock style of music that has defined Sonic in these games. Each one of these vocal tracks perfectly encapsulates each and every one of these characters' personalities to a kind of scary degree. If you haven't gotten a chance to listen to them, or want to listen to them without my voice interrupting every 5 or 10 seconds, I created a playlist in the description below that you can check out after this video, so you can listen to them in peace. But I just wanted to say thanks for watching, everyone. Leave a like on the video and subscribe if you enjoyed, and have a great day. Peace.